But they hold it up. They give Fuda and they give Gorga the sign, stay on Teresa. So that's their sign. Wow. We're talking about, I say the queen, even though I'm not taking sides because guys, I don't love Teresa any more than I love Melissa. I really don't. You got to believe me. But I mean, calling her the queen of the show is not exactly incorrect. I think it's her show. What do you want from me? But so they tell them to stay on Teresa. They talk. Apparently, all the food is talked about. They were so riled up over the whole baby mama drama. That's all they talked about that night was, she's this, she's that, she's in jail. So they're still riled up about this. Apparently, they're talking to anyone who can listen about this. It's a lot going on, right? Then the next to arrive is the one, the only Miss Margaret Josephson, her mother, Marge Sr., with Joe Benigno. So they arrive. This person said, now again, I have spoken to Margaret since all the Hampton stuff. We will get into that today if we have time. If not, I know you're all going to DM me and you're all going to want to know how that conversation went. We're going to have to wait till next week. Let's see how much we get through. I have nothing against Marge. This person said Margaret was a total fucking bitch. That is what they said. I am just revealing it. Could they be against Margaret and Melissa and Team Teresa? Possibly. I'm just telling you what I've been told. Okay. And, the information's vetted that this person was there and they heard these conversations. But, when we get to whether someone was nice or not, I mean, it's all in the eye of the beholder. So that's that. Then Miss Cabral and Nate arrive. So we have them there now. Now, who else? The Aidens came. Now, the Aidens were there for the least amount of time. They breezed in, they did what they had to, and then they left. Jen is very loyal to Teresa, and we all know that. And you know what? Good for her. I truly believe Jen and Teresa are real friends. I used to always say on this podcast, I don't think Teresa has a lot of real friends that are women. I would say the same about Jen. There's no shade in that. Again, I think the older you get, the smaller your circle gets. I don't really see what the positive is to having a lot of friends. If they're fake friends, isn't it better to have, I can count my real people on one hand. You know what I mean? I think that's all we really need in life. And I mean, your real people, when you get sick and you're having there and you're ready to go in for an operation because you have brain cancer. Those are the people that I care about. I don't care about any of this other bullshit. So that's that. So there you go. So Jen and Bill were there for a very little period of time. Now, of course, Jackie and Evan arrive. I was told by this person, Jackie is the salt of the earth, nicest human being ever. Rave review from Miss Goldschneider. I have said this before. I have said this again. I have a thing for Jackie. I really, really personally have never had a bad interaction with Jackie. I told you, even when I was fighting with Marge, she was sitting at Marge's table at the GLAAD Awards when I ran into her. I mean, I've also said some not nice things on this podcast about Jackie, but really, I haven't said that many bad things. Other people have. So, but I was just shocked that she was as nice to me as she was because, I mean, I've said something. So I find Jackie wonderful. Now, apparently, Jackie and Margaret were truly arguing all night. Truly. Now, apparently, also, at one point, Joe Benigno, Margaret's husband, was talking to Jackie. According to this source, Margaret went over and pulled Joe away from Jackie and said, don't talk to her. She's the enemy, or something to that effect. So listen, this is where I need to get into my backstory. We've all seen the blogs. We've all seen the stuff that apparently we have different sides. Apparently everything is mixed up. Rachel Fuda apparently is now, well, she's anti-Teresa. Well, but apparently, Jackie and Marge are fighting. Jackie is hanging out with Jennifer Aiden and Jen Fessler and Teresa. We all saw, and well, I don't know if you guys saw this on Instagram. Jackie posted something about her book and her weight, and Teresa said, congratulations, and they congratulated each other. So, I mean, apparently Jackie is in now with Teresa and Jen Aiden, and Margaret apparently and Jackie are having problems. And when Joe Benigno was talking to Jackie, Margaret went over and ripped Joe away and said, don't talk to her. Like either she's the enemy or we're in a fight, something to that effect. Now, I don't know. Here's the thing. You know me. You know me. Now, if I was a non-trusting person before in my life about people that were in my life that would go and fuck me over, how do you think I feel right now? Yeah, I'm not a very trusting person in general, everybody. Now, let me say, all this stuff that's surfacing about Margaret and Jackie being in a fight. Oh, and apparently Danielle Cabral is now team Margaret and team Melissa. So when I hear all of this, I say a couple of things. In retrospect, it doesn't shock me that all of these people are back. I've already said that. Yes, we can revisit and we can talk from now until I'm done with this podcast. I'm not done anytime soon. So anyone that wants me to be finished doing this podcast, I'm not going to finish anytime soon. We can keep talking about how I was wrong, about Melissa being fired and Marge being fired. I welcome that criticism. I welcome it. Girl, you were wrong. Man, David. Man, sometimes I get it wrong, you guys. And also, you know how they say the present is a gift? It's really true. Like in my personal life, it's so hard for me because I'm such a worker. And I'm truly one of those people. I don't live in the past. I actually hate that. I don't even want to think about the past. I don't want to look at pictures. I'm really somebody who more or less has had a problem up until, a year, 2, 3, 4 ago. Like I've really had to adjust myself without therapy to learning that the present is a gift. You have to live in the present. I love to live in the future. I love to do today what I can do in 3 days. Like let's work another 3 hours and get something done. But you really got to live in the present. So also, David, maybe you should shut the fuck up and stop predicting who's going to be fired at like the end of a season. Because I do it for every fucking show, every time. I did it with Catherine Edwards last season for Beverly Hills. We love Catherine. You guys love Catherine. I love Catherine. Oh my God. Can you imagine Catherine getting involved in all the drama that goes on in the podcast world? She would never. She's above it, guys. I should probably just live in the moment and not really predict what's going to happen. But so I was wrong, but it doesn't shock me that everyone is back. To be honest with you, I think that the fact that Melissa Gorga is not gloating, I actually got to give her credit because they obviously don't want to fire Melissa. She's back. So, and if they ever were going to fire her, they would fire her now. I know a lot of people DM me about legal issues. And when Teresa said, you're going to be gone, I don't know how that's a legal claim. I mean, they could have fired Melissa. I don't see why that would be like a legal thing. I don't know. Maybe my law degree isn't working today, but the point I am trying to make is